it is happening. It is going. You can either be on the forefront of that, or you can be left behind and be at a disadvantage.
Hey, it's Kevin Amos, Pine Financial Group, where we work together so you succeed. Hey, you found us here on Facebook, you found us here on YouTube. Please help me out, hit like, hit subscribe. We're trying to build a channel to help more real estate investors just like you. The way we do that is to grow the channel. So hit like, hit subscribe, leave some comments below. You're gonna love this episode. Jerry is one of the best people on planet Earth, biggest heart, smartest businessman I know. He's my coach. He's my mentor. Please welcome Jerry. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I am so happy to be here and helping you grow the channel, because everything that you're doing, Kevin, I believe in. You guys are doing an awesome job, and it's no secret. I always say this, when you see growing businesses, it's because they're doing business right and they're building world-class relationships. And it's why I love working with you.
I appreciate you saying that. And you and I have had a couple of videos now, so they're probably already on the YouTube channel and Facebook. So if you're watching this video and you want to get more of this amazing man's advice, check out those other videos. Just go and find.
I want to know why you laughed
those.
when you said amazing man.
So I don't normally say amazing man. That sounded funny to me, but you are an amazing man. So
are you. So are you, brother.
Hey, I want to ask you a question today, Jerry. A lot of our viewers, they're real estate investors. Okay? They buy properties, they fix them up, they sell them. They might be doing short-term rentals or long-term rentals. They're just trying to make money in the real estate investing space. And a lot of them are just like, mom and pop, like one-man show kind of thing. So, gosh, it could get pretty overwhelming at times with the amount of work, managing the construction, managing tenants. And I get some feedback sometimes like, how do I scale? How do I grow? I'm only one person. How do we do it?
I love it. It's, I call it the high achievers trap, Kevin. And so as the high achiever, we think we have to do it all. And the real answer is we don't have to do it all. We just have to resource the doing. Now, I know some deals, they're going to be a little bit juicy, and some deals are going to be a little bit thinner. So we always want to be cost conscious. One of the things that I have been doing since 2006, back to my internet business, I'll tell you how smart I am. I started an internet business and didn't know how to code websites. And so I needed a lot of help to figure out that business. And so I've been outsourcing around the world. And so like my current assistant, she is from the Philippines. I've had many, many people from the Philippines. It's one of the reasons why I go there is, they're educated in English, so you're less of a language barrier. But your dollar is, really at an advantage. And so it goes so much further. And I remember the first VA I had, Kevin, I hired them on a platform called Odesk, which is now Upwork. I still use that platform all the time. In fact, I was on yesterday with my programmer, Radwan from Bangladesh. And so, just to give you some cost comparisons, and this was 2006, 2007. When I first started on the platform, I was paying $1.50 per hour, right, for a highly trained VA to help me grow my business. And so
VA virtual assistant.
Virtual assistant, thank you, yes. And so, this person is not showing up to your house, they're not showing up to an office, you eliminate all of those things. And now, my assistant, Maria, she time shifts. And so she works the same hours that I do. People are amazed that she's actually in the Philippines once I tell them, because we don't not share that. But, I think one of the misnomers, people are like, oh, but they won't know what to do. It's like, well, if you can teach it to an American, you can teach it to someone, somewhere else in the world and really have your dollar go further. And so I just think it's one of those unlocks. I will share this with you. I have a developer, a fix and flipper that I work with here in Florida, and he had never considered getting a virtual assistant. He now has one, Hazel. She does all of his accounting. She handles all on his rental properties. They have a form and they get routed to her for delivery, whether it's a plumber or a roofer or whatever it might be. Wow. But he has been able to outsource all of the, because he's a visionary, right? He's not great at the details, but we helped set up the platform. Hazel now runs all of his, I think he has 4 entities. He runs the 4 entities, 4 QuickBooks, and handles all of the administrative BS that happens behind the scenes. And so it does take a leap of faith. I will give that to people like, oh, well, I mean, what if they steal my passwords? What if they,
Yeah.
I mean, there's tools that are out there. So go to lastpass.com and you can share a password, and you're not in control of it. I'm in control of it. So if I want to change it, I change the password or revoke your access. So there are many ways in which you can protect and hedge against those things. To give you clarity, Maria has everything down to my underwear size, including my bank accounts and everything else. That's how much trust that I have with Maria. And so, yes, you don't have to do all the doing. You have to resource the doing. And sometimes we have to look at situations no different than you would walk into a property. You need to have a vision for how you're going to rehab that property in a different way to unlock that value. It's the same way with getting help on your business so that you can focus on the things that you really enjoy and outsource all the rest of it to a VA.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love Maria. You know, I've met her many times. She is fantastic. I would never have guessed that she wasn't living here either. Surprised to hear you say that you share your bank account. I don't know that my comfort would be there. But it's whatever, like when you hire a VA, it's really whatever you want.
That's right.
And
That's right. And you know, I'll give you an example. Like I was on with Radwan yesterday, who's, you know, in Bangladesh. And, you know, if I was to hire a programmer here in the US, I'm going to pay about $150 an hour for like high-end programming work. We're doing some complex stuff. Radwan, he's $15 an hour. And that's a great wage in his country, right? So there's a win-win situation that's happening on both sides of this. And so I don't care what it is, like, oh, well, I want to create a website, I don't know how to do it. You can outsource just about everything in your life. You know, platforms that you may want to consider. Upwork is, you know, the de facto one that is the standard. If you're looking for a VA, I always go to the Philippines for VAs. The great platform there is onlinejobs.ph. And, you know, I think one of the things that I've seen as people try and have VAs is they don't actually put the investment to train their VAs. And so I'll give you an example. Everything that Maria has done, and she started a year ago yesterday, right? And so we're a year and 1 day. She sent me a note, which was awesome, so humbling. Everything that I've asked her to do, one of the additional tasks that she has is she writes out a checklist of everything that she needs to do for that assignment, and she creates a video. So there's Loom that you can use. You create a video, it's just a screen share, and every single one goes up onto a Trello board, which is our project management software, so that we can keep track of everything that we're doing. By the way, it would be a great tool for someone who's managing a fix and flip property to use a project management tool like Trello. But we have a back end. If Maria ever decided to take another job, or she wanted to have another kid and needed to go on maternity leave, everything she's ever done for me, we have in a vault on the back end of our website, so that someone can just say, I can say, oh, Kevin, I need you to do this. They go to that file, they look at the checklist, they watch the video, they're off to the races. My training is already finished. I made the lift once. And, you know, it's the same thing inside of your business. If you're going to do something more than one time, you might as well systematize it or create a video and say, here's how I want it done, because that is scalable. And it is an infinite return on your initial investment of your time. Because if you want to scale, you know, time is a finite resource. And so hiring someone is one of the many, you know, really 4 ways that you can create leverage in your business. And it's the easiest and most reasonable first one that you should pursue for most of the mom and pop operations that you work with.
But I love everything you're saying, and we're going to put the websites that you mentioned probably in the notes. I want to ask how you help people, but before I do that, question I have, and I get sometimes because we're starting to use some VAs or we're going that direction.
Yep.
Sometimes I get the feedback, well, when you're outsourcing overseas, you're taking money away from, you know, American workers. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I think that's a great one. And if that's super important to you, then you should stay here locally and pay someone a fair wage to do that. I look and say the world is moving in this direction. We are a more globalized society. And so you can either be part of that and participate or not be part of it. And that's your personal choice, comes back to your values and what you hold dear. I think it's the same thing when I look at things like AI and machine learning. Like it is happening, it is going. You can either be on the forefront of that, or you can be left behind and be at a disadvantage. And so my personal disposition is to always be at the forefront of change because I want to be driving that and helping shape that and be informed so I can share it with people like you know, communities. But if that's important to you, then I would say that's fine. Then outsourcing isn't for you. That's a-okay.
Yeah, some of our past videos, we talked about fulfillment and we talked about values and we talked about some of these other things. And if that falls in there, by all means, I agree with what you're saying, but maybe it's to maximize profit so that you could donate to a charity and help people in a different way. So I wouldn't necessarily get hung up on taking jobs away from someone to give it to somebody else. If you look at a bigger picture and your values and your mission, as you would say, right, Jerry?
Yep.
Then maybe this could be a good solution for you. And you're right, $15 an hour is a fantastic wage in some parts of the country, and you're really helping a human being out by doing this. Is kind of how I
Yeah.
look at that. But
I look at I know what I pay Maria, which is at a great rate for me to have someone of her quality, and what she earns puts her in an earning bracket that she would not have available to her in her country, right? And so if there is a mutual, you know, symbiotic relationship. This is my personal view, Kevin, so you can take it for what it's worth. uh, I live in the United States and I love the United States, but I live on planet Earth. And so to me, those are my brothers and sisters. They just happen to be living in another country 12 hours away from me. And that's a-okay. And I'm just as apt to help them as I would someone here. It's the same reason that my wife and I support a charity in Haiti, because that is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And so we try and help people who can't help themselves, aren't in a position to do that. Again, it just lays up to values. But I think the really important piece is you are not alone as a mom and pop operator. There are options available to you. You just have to open your mind up to think a little bit differently. And once you do it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, why didn't I do this 5 flips ago?
exactly.
This would be like amazing. And I say this all the time. Um, there's not a single person that I've met, and I've put a lot of VAs inside of a lot of our businesses, where people go like, oh, I wish I didn't hire the assistant. It's like, no. I wish I trained the assistant better sooner. That's always the answer. And it's no different. You have to treat them as if they're in your office. You wouldn't like walk by that person and not say hello. Every morning I get a WhatsApp from Maria. Hey, happy, you know, Tuesday, happy Wednesday. It's going to be an amazing day, right? Because that's our mantra every day. And so if you treat those people as if they're inside your business and they're a key important component of your business, it goes really, really, really well.
One more time, the website to find these.
Yeah. Upwork is a great one for around the world labor and for everything that you could possibly think of. When I really think about virtual assistants, executive virtual assistants, onlinejobs.ph.
Awesome. Can you help our viewers? I know you do a lot of coaching for me. You do some mentoring for a lot of different people. You have some weekly calls. You do some podcasts. Like, how do you help our viewers, our real estate investors?
Yeah, first I would say swing by provenchaos.com. I'm a pretty easy guy to find. If there's something that you're struggling with, office hours is a great place to start. We do that every Thursday from 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern time. But beyond that, you know, you can just shoot me a note and say, hey, I'm struggling with this thing. Sometimes people feel like this imposter syndrome, like, oh, my business isn't big enough. I'm just flipping a couple houses. I'm on a mission to positively impact 5 million people over the next 5 years, which means I need to help every person that I possibly can. And so if I can help your community, I am up to the task. And, it always comes back to how do we create that fulfillment for people? And I'd love to have conversations with people and, get them headed in the right direction for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna put your email up here if you're okay with that.
And of course, Jerry at provenchaos.com. Jerry
Right.
at provenchaos.com.
Yeah, all right, it's right here. Send him a note. I just caution, I just ask that you please respect him and I mean, he's very giving of his time and he will respond for free, but let's just be respectful, that's all. If you have some money to invest, if you're looking to fix and flip, new develop, anything real estate related, we'd love to help you. You can get information about us at pinefinancialgroup.com.
Go do it. Great company.